Thanks for joining us for the Prepped and Polished radio show. I'm your host, Alexis Avila, licensed guidance counselor, private tutor, and founder of Prepped and Polished LLC, tutoring and test prep in beautiful South Natick, Massachusetts. The Prepped and Polished radio show is your educational insider. Our show is brought to you by Prepped and Polished LLC, where I'm the principal educator. To learn more about our firm, please visit preppedandpolished.com. And thank you to everyone who's listening to the program. We appreciate you taking interest in the info we provide to families and educators around the globe. For future shows, updates, and ongoing relevant education news, please join our Facebook community by searching for Prepped and Polished, then clicking like. And you can find us on Twitter at Prepped Polished. Joining our show today is Sandra Rizkallah. Sandra is co-founder of Plugged In, a Needham, Massachusetts-based nonprofit music program whose focus is to give young people a venue through which they can channel their creativity, learn to work in a group, improve their music skills while learning about the value and importance of social activism. Sandra has a degree in film and television from Emerson College. She has produced her own documentaries, as well as worked in post-production department of Nova and WGBH Public Television. We're delighted to have Sandra on our show. She's going to share with us her experiences bringing young people together through Plugged In and her overall successes improving a child's self-confidence and social consciousness through music. Before we start, I just want to make sure our listeners have our contact info. Our email is radio@preppedandpolished.com. If you'd like to submit a question at any time, you can use that email address. Often our listeners will have questions as they're listening in or afterwards, so we always appreciate hearing from you. So you can email us at any time at radio@preppedandpolished.com. Sandra, are you on the line?
Yes, I am. Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Thanks so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
So Sandra, I see that you and I were both film majors in college. So what was the last really good movie you've seen?
Oh, Searching for Sugarman.
Oh, did that come out recently?
It came out in the summer, and I was wanting to see it. Life was crazy, and I never got a chance to. And then a couple of weeks ago, I went to the wonderful Coolidge Corner Cinema in Brookline, and it's a beautiful movie. I loved it. I don't know. Do you know about it?
No, I think I've heard of it, but I'm a little out of the loop. I have to get back into film.
Well, it's a music. It's about a musician. It's a documentary, but it's an amazing story. Very uplifting and inspiring, yes.
Well, thanks for the tip. I appreciate that. Can you start out by telling us about what is Plugged In and how you came up with your program?
So Plugged In is a nonprofit teen rock band program, and what we do is we put kids in bands. We group them by their age, their skill level, their musical interest, their personality, and their availability. And they meet once a week with a teacher with their band for an hour and a half, and each session lasts about 13 or 14 weeks. And at the end of each session, their big concert, their final concert, is a concert that raises money for one charitable organization or cause that's chosen by the students. So at the beginning of the term, we have an evening called Community Engage, when the students get together and they pitch different causes that are important to them and talk about the work they do and why they believe that we should raise money for them. And then at the end of the evening, the kids vote and they determine what they're going to raise money for. So our program is really putting the emphasis on using music to help others and on compassion to others and to themselves, and sort of away from ego and stardom and competition.
What's an example of one of the charity organizations that the kids decided to go with?
Let's see. We had a bunch of different ones. We've had some. We had one for the Asperger Association in New England. Had one for the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. We've had one for We Care Solar. We've had Amnesty International. We've had the Elias Fund. We've had all sorts of different local and international ones, and it's really exciting because this is really very sacred to us that it's determined by the kids. We don't take input from parents. We don't put our own input in, and so every term we don't know where the kids are going to take us and what people we're going to meet and what things we're going to learn about around the world. And one of the things we do too is we get a lot of suggestions. Sometimes 20 suggestions from the kids. So after every community engage, we send an email out to our entire mailing list with all the suggestions, with links to the websites for the organizations. And then at the concert, we have all of them listed on the program, because we may not be raising money for all of them, but we want to have the kids feel that, their suggestion is at least bringing awareness to their organization, that it's important to them, in our community.
Well, that's great. And that teaches them a lesson to not, it doesn't, just because there's one winner, it doesn't mean not everybody can be a part of it.
Absolutely. Yep.
So you kind of talked a little bit about how you separate students into different levels, but I was just wondering, do you need to have a music background or a natural music talent to be part of Plugged In?
Not at all. We have a number of students who have come with very, very little experience, and we are not an organization that is putting a lot of pressure on the kids to be perfect. To be that's not the goal. The goal is really to be a team player. To gain confidence, to make a difference in the world with something that you love, like music. So, we have kids of all abilities. We have some kids with disabilities. We have different functioning, all different types of people. And, all the differences are transcended because all the kids love music. And we find that really putting the emphasis on compassion really ends up having a transformative effect, not only on the atmosphere of Plugged In, but on the kids themselves. Because I think what happens is that they become more open, they feel like open-hearted, and they make stronger connections with each other, and they also feel more safe to take risks musically. And it's just, I think the result is an increase in gain in confidence, connection to the community, and they feel empowered that they are making a difference in the world. And it's a very beautiful thing to watch and be part of.
Wow, that's great. When did Plug In start, and what are some of the changes that you've seen since the beginning to now?
Well, I think my husband Tom and I, he is an engineer at WGBH and a musician. We started the program in 2002. We just had an idea. I had some friends that had a theater program, and we were actually on the beach in Provincetown, and the idea popped into my head to do this. And Tom and I had never had a business or anything, we'd never done anything like this before. And we basically just hung up flyers, and the first band we had 5 students in it. And I think one of the really wonderful things about Plugged In is that we are learning along with our students, I always say to our students that we're all perfectly imperfect, that we aren't a glossy machine, that, we're learning as we go along with our students. And it's been an amazing experience. I mean, we've, really gone out to the community and taken a lot of workshops on nonprofit management and board development. We're very connected to the nonprofit community around us, and, any chance that we can to learn, to connect with people, to get help. And, we just have, we kind of take the message that we give to our students and we use it with ourselves, which is that, we try, to do the right thing to get it right. But, and if we don't get it right, we try again. And it's really proven to be really successful. And the kids feel very, got a lot of positive reinforcement from the community, from the schools, principals, guidance counselors, the youth commission. We basically have had number of people tell us that our program saved their child's life or saved the life of someone. Because, a lot of times the kids who are gifted in music or interested in music, I mean, not all of them, but some may not be, naturally doing well in school academically or sports. And, they sort of fall through the cracks, and there's nowhere for them to sort of to get acknowledgement in the community. And so, we take these kids who may really have been losing self-esteem and self-confidence in school, and they come to Plugged In, and it's a place for them to express the gift that they have to be acknowledged in the community at the many community performances that we're invited to and perform at. And it helps them, just feel really confident. And I think it ends up, even, there's some, kids who are easy with academics, but even for the ones that aren't, once their confidence grows, I think that starts to have a positive effect on their academics as well.
That really resonates with me, because I grew up in Needham, and, in the 90s, if you didn't play sports, you went to the mall. So I could just definitely see the benefits of having another program that really helps empower kids, like a Plugged In. So that's just awesome. Yeah.
One of our students, he said, in Plugged In, I found my people, which I thought kind of sums it up as sweet. And they're very grateful. They they're very protective of Plugged In, the kids, and they really try hard, just to do the right thing, to make it as good as it can be. They're so kind to each other and supportive and loving, and the big kids help the little kids. When the little kids, we have kids as young as 8 and 9, and when they're on stage, all the big kids are in front cheering them on, and it's really beautiful. It's almost sometimes in high school, it's not cool to be kind. You kind of have to put this hard shell around. And in Plugged In, it's, we're trying to teach that, strength comes from kindness. And the more you open your heart, the stronger you are. It's not a sign of weakness. And I think the kids get that in Plugged In, and they really feel safe, kind of being the true kind person that they are.
Wow, that's powerful. For our listeners outside of Massachusetts, are there programs that you know of like a Plugged In outside of the Massachusetts area?
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah.
Oh,
because I have no idea, but I'm just saying if you're in, New Hampshire, I don't know. Have you?
Yeah, there are definitely rock band programs all over. I would think that from what I know, there aren't many that involve the sort of philanthropic charitable part of it. And for us, we find that is really one of the most important parts of our program.
Yeah, because you do a lot with charities and giving back. Now, I'm not sure if our listeners know this, but my younger brother, Nicholas, is a Plugged In alumni. And
a teacher.
He's a teacher at Plugged In. Nick's currently touring in a successful metal band called Power Glove. Have you noticed a lot of former Plugged In kids taking their music to the next level? We have a number of students from the early days who have come back, who have went to Berklee College of Music or in the music profession, have come back and teaching. Being 10 years old, we don't have a huge alumni group, but there are those who are pursuing music. One thing that we do know is many have taken the philanthropic part and integrated into their lives, whether in college or in their careers. And we hear back from kids a lot that that's something that they will take with them forever. It's sort of part of who they are now. Absolutely. That's. What are your future plans for Plugged In? Going into the beyond today?
We just moved to a new location, which is very exciting for us. It's probably at least double the size, and now we can offer private lessons, and we'll have a recording studio. So on a short term, we're really working to kind of build those programs and strengthen the infrastructure to sustain that type of growth. And, long term, we have some very, we want to develop our summer camp more. And then we have some ideas of, we have a lot of people that we've met along the years in different parts of the world who run teen youth music programs. And one of the ideas we have is having some sort of program where we take kids to these different countries and, meet up with other people who are using music for positive change and have some sort of cross-cultural program. So that's a kind of a long-term, far-reaching one, but an exciting one.
Yeah, you got to dream big.
Yes, we do. We have a list of goals that are the ones that are sort of the short-term realistic, and then we have the long ones, and, you keep moving forward on both columns. But we also want to, figure out short term. We have more ways for the kids to be involved in the charities if they choose. We want to have more programming for older students, 11th and 12th grade, and maybe have them, give lessons to younger students or students who can't afford private lessons. So, we have a lot of ideas.
That's fantastic. And you guys also have an amazing website. It's, I was looking through it. I'm a big website guy, so I just love the logo and the fun buttons, and you learn about what Plugged In is by the website.
Yes,
wow.
And I'll have to put a plug in for the Boston University Center for Digital Imaging Arts and Waltham. They have a program called the Practicum Program where nonprofits apply, and then the students choose which nonprofits they want to work with, and then we got our website designed free from this program, and it's an amazing website, and we've had some promotional videos done by them, and so if anyone out there is listening to nonprofit wants to apply to the BUCDIA, you should definitely look them up.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at this website, and they're the real deal.
It is.
Are there any upcoming concerts in case I don't have any plans, or our listeners would like to attend one of these Plugged In events?
Yes, we have a couple of fundraisers coming up for Plugged In. We have one on November 9th in Needham, where a band called Melodigo is a very cool band that's performing, and the bass player is a former teacher of ours. And I'm trying to think of some upcoming. Our end of session concert is in January, the weekend of Martin Luther King. But we have a couple other performances. I think in Needham, when they light the tree in Needham, our students are going to be performing there. You can see it all on our website. I can't remember the date.
Well, that sounds awesome. Well, thank you so much, Sandra. I really appreciate you coming on and taking time to educate us on Plugged In. So thank you.
And thank you as well. And we love your organization. I think you're doing great work. And we love having Nick teaching at Plugged In. He's doing a great job, too.
Good. All right.
All right. Thanks, Alexis.
You're welcome.
All right. Bye.
Talk to you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
And this wraps up our show today with Sandra Rizkallah of Plugged In. Please visit pluggedinband.com to learn more about Sandra's music program. And if you care about the longevity of student music empowerment programs such as Plugged In, I highly suggest making a donation on their site as well. Thank you for joining us on the Prep and Polish Radio Show.